Welcome to the Flash by Night channel. I am TJ, aka Flash by Night, and you are here with me, keeping up with the comics, where I review and spoil some of the comics that I am currently reading. And the comic we are keeping up with today is Future State The Flash, issue number 2. So we pick up months after the Flash family encounter with Wally West that left permanent damage on the whole team. As you can see, there is a broken picture of Wally and Barry with Jay laying on the side, which kind of foretells how this encounter went. Before and during the encounter with Wally, we lost Bart Allen, we lost Jay Garrick, and we may have lost Iris West. They're not really specific about her fate, but it's not good, and Barry doesn't have time to think about it. It turns out that Barry is not going to make that ultimate decision to try and take down Wally West. Instead, he is going to try and use science to separate Wally from what is known as famine, one of the riders of the apocalypse. Barry is kind of unsure whether or not this famine is real, whether or not it's something Wally has made up in his head, but he is going to find out, and he is taking notes into his flash ring to leave for anybody who may need it if he doesn't make it. And as you can see, Barry is putting together tech from several of his Rose Gallery members to try and accomplish this feat. So when Barry gets outside of the speed lab, he uses Weather Wizard's wand to try and attract Wally/Famine, but it doesn't take long. And then an epic fight ensues with Barry using technology and using weapons from all of his former rogues to basically try and separate Famine from Wally. And just when Barry decides he has to make a physical sacrifice for the good of Wally to get rid of Famine, it turns out Famine had been using a Speed Force double, and our fight carries on. Barry, believing he has the upper hand and believing he may have separated Famine from Wally, tries to talk sense into Wally, but he recognizes that Famine isn't gone when Wally asks that other people come and put themselves in danger, something that he would never do. In another bit of sacrificial science, Barry decides to alter Wally's DNA, basically trying to force Famine out of Wally's body, which works, but now Barry gets to see Famine's true form. It's then Barry figures out that Famine isn't just feasting on the physical body of his victims, but the hope of his victims, and eventually the hope of the world if he isn't stopped. And now Famine is getting a taste of the hope that Barry is losing, and he says it's simply intoxicating. And in one final encounter, after all of Barry's technology fails him, Famine, in Wally's body, sets Barry 1 second either behind or in front of the Future State timeline. This essentially eliminates Barry from the Future State timeline, and Famine has won, or so he thinks. This entire time, Barry has been talking his fight out loud and still recording into his flash ring. And because he is the Flash, and because he is all about hope, Barry, even in death, leaves hope for the Teen Titans as Cybeast finds the ring with the recording. And that was Future State The Flash, issue number 1. And I know everyone is not heavily invested in Future State. It's not their cup of tea. They're looking forward to getting back to regular continuity and a less dark method of storytelling. But in my opinion, this has been a story of hope. This has been what The Flash is all about. Even in the darkest of times, even in the darkest of days, The Flash still gives hope. And that's why I love this story. Now, if you've been keeping up with Future State continuity, the Flash book, as we saw in the last page, leads to Future State Teen Titans, and I believe leads to Future State Shazam. So I'm going to have to check those stories out. I've already done a review for Future State The Flash issue number 1 and Future State Teen Titans number 1. So check those out if you get a chance. And that was Keeping Up with the Comics. I hope you enjoyed yourself. If you did, hit the like button. And if you want to keep up with me, keeping up with the comics, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, leave a comment if you'd like, do all the good YouTube things. And as always, love yourself, love others, and I will be back in a flash.